everyone, and welcome to episode 44 of Popcorn Problems. My name is Ilan Pressman, and I'm here with my very good friend and fellow co-host,
Nicholas DePasco. Every week we'll make sure you're caught up with the biggest news and movies in Hollywood.
This week we're going to be reviewing Supergirl, one of last week's biggest new releases. But before we get to that, what's poppin'? Where we run through the biggest movie stories this week. What's up, guys? How we doing? What's up, Nick?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay. You know, holding down the fort here. We can't all be at the World Cup games. Somebody has to hold it down here in NYC.
Exactly.
As you know.
Somebody's got to watch Supergirl. Not many people have, but somebody's got to.
Somebody's got to watch Supergirl. You know. But what are you going to do? How have you been?
Yeah. I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I'm good. Big thank you to everyone that's watching on the YouTube. Our last video got like 40 views, which is kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys so much for everyone that's actually listening to these. We really appreciate it. And we hope you guys are enjoying, because I know we enjoy making them for you.
For sure. I hope you guys enjoyed my chopped chud gameplay. I couldn't get past like the second. Bro, if you saw, I don't know if anyone noticed really or anyone cared, but if you saw, I couldn't get past like the second or third enemy in the last game that I played for the YouTube video. It was tragic, no panic. But what are you gonna do?
Oh, that's funny. Alrighty. Let's start with the box office, like we always do. This weekend total, $152.5 million, which is up 17.9% from this weekend in 2025, but down 40% from last weekend. Number one this weekend is Toy Story 5, and it's week 2 at the box office. It pulled in $70 million domestic, which is a 56% drop from last weekend, which means its domestic total is at $297.2 million, global total at $585 million. On a $250 million budget. Pixar's heavy hitter pulled off the franchise's best second weekend ever. So I think this movie's hitting $1 billion without a doubt in my mind. It's gonna get there. My only concern is Minions, which is opening up this weekend, and I wonder how that'll affect, because that's another like huge kids franchise. But yeah, we'll have to see. I feel like I haven't heard a lot of people talking about Toy Story 5. Like, I feel like people talked about it for the first weekend, and then, I don't know, at least on my social media feeds, I've seen no one really discuss it.
I have a very different social media feed, because I feel like everybody's been talking about, not Toy Story 5, but just, like, Toy Story as a franchise in general. I keep seeing, like, Toy Story 1 clips and, like, other, like, production things. Admittedly, some interesting things that I never learned before. Just like how, like, the whole, like, production of Pixar and making Toy Story 5 and how they didn't want to do that to begin with, but then they just ended up doing animation because it interested them. I don't know. There's a lot going on, and, yeah, I feel like people have been talking about it, but I also do think that is
interesting.
The case. I also do think that is the case for, like, just kids films in general. Like, maybe, like, if it has any sort of adult audience, like, they'll talk about it, like, for the first weekend or, like, maybe a week, and then, like, afterwards, all the rest of the money that comes in is just parents babysitting their kids and bringing them in, you know. That's why, I don't know. Yeah, but I could 100% see it crossing $1 billion, like, no issue.
No, I think it will. I think it would be a big surprise if it... Yeah. Damn. I think 3, 4, and then 5 is... I mean, it already said it's the biggest second weekend ever for the franchise, so it's already tracking ahead of Toy Story 4, which ended up crossing $1 billion, so...
Yeah, man. I mean, those tentpole movies, they really, you know, I'll take Toy Story 6 if we can get like another Gato. Obviously not another Gato, but like another original.
Yeah, listen, they're tentpoles for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2 this weekend, we have Supergirl. It opened at $38 million domestic, $68 million global on a $170 million budget. It landed a B- cinema score, which is lower than The Flash and The Marvels.
Lower than The Flash? Right in the really?
Yeah,
that's
the cinema
so
like the rating.
Crazy. Yeah.
And cinema score doesn't like isn't able to get gamed by like review bots or whatever. That's literally just polling at movie theaters. So I would consider it like a very good metric, just because it's random. I feel like so B- is really bad for a movie like this. It
Yeah.
opened lower than Morbius. It opened lower than The Flash, The Marvels, which are all considered to be really big flops. It didn't rank number one in a single overseas market. And the break-even point is 310 million, and it's probably going to have a hard time getting past 100 million domestic. So, yeah, this is really, I feel like, concerning for the DCU. Listen, I thought Creature Commandos was great. I thought Superman was fantastic. But that didn't make as much money as people wanted it to. You know, people in DC, you know, were like, oh, we're happy with how much it made, but it made less than Man of Steel. Mm-hmm. Okay? That's not ideal. Obviously, you want it to make more than the previous iteration. It had really good, like, the reception was good, so that's why people considered it a success. Mm-hmm. But it really didn't make as much money as it needed to. Peacemaker Season 2, I think, started off really great. But I think the ending really soured the the aura around the DCU. Like, people were like, I, for one, was really kind of disappointed by that ending. And then I feel like everything that we've been hearing since, whether it be the empty promises of Wonder Woman stuff, Jimmy Olsen and Gorilla Grodd TV show, all this like random stuff where it's like, what are we doing here? I mean, the Lanterns trailer doesn't look particularly good, unfortunately. And then we have this huge flop for the second movie, which is like, should be pretty big coming off the coattails of Superman. I think it's really concerning, to be honest. And especially with the new leadership that's been coming over at Warner Bros. I think, yeah, I don't know. I'm really honestly concerned for James Gunn, to be honest, because I could see them being like, okay, like, what are we doing here? Like, get your thumb out of your ass. Like, we gotta clean house, because what are we doing? No progress on a Batman movie, nothing on Wonder Woman. They're trying to create this universe like it's the Sony Spider-Man universe, using B and C-list characters when they don't have to, and clearly people don't care for it. People, all I'm seeing is like, where is Batman? Where is Wonder Woman? Like, where is the Justice League? Like, why are we focusing on a Jimmy Olsen Gorilla Grodd TV show when honestly there's so much bigger fish to fry and things to set up this universe? I mean, listen, I think if this movie came out maybe 10, 15 years ago, it might have been positioned better.
I agree.
I just don't think it fits the current state of comic book like storytelling, and I think that might be a reason why it did so poorly. I think James Gunn has right now a lot of work to bring back the good. What's the term? The goodwill regarding his thing. Because listen, James Gunn can make good movies. We know that. What we need to see is if the movies outside of his direct creative control can hold that level of quality, because this is like our first thing, right? If I'm not mistaken, that isn't like written by James Gunn.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll get into it in our review, but it's really not great. So I think they need to reevaluate their priorities at DC, and their Comic-Con presentation needs to be like generational. They need to make big advancements, because I think people are just tired of this like what are we doing here? If I have to be honest.
Sorry,
that's my take on it.
If you ask me, I'm not particularly concerned. This is the second movie in their franchise, and okay, so here's what I'm basing this off. First off, yes, Superman didn't make as much money as Man of Steel, unfortunately, but it also didn't necessarily underperform, and it was a critical success. If we want to relate that back to, I guess,
I'm not saying it underperformed. I'm not trying to say it underperformed.
No, I know.
It wasn't as successful as I feel it should have been. Like a new Superman movie, the start of a new universe. I think it should have made more money.
For sure. But I mean, here's how I look at it. I just looked up the box office numbers for Iron Man from 2008. We are in a different we're in a different economy and a different like pop cultural zeitgeist than we were back in 2008, obviously. But the first Iron Man, it made $585 million, less than Superman and Man of Steel. And then the movie...
Iron Man was a nobody back then. Iron Man was nothing. Right. This is
very
Superman.
True. Very true. And then also the movie after Iron Man in the MCU was The Incredible Hulk, which was a huge bomb, 264 million worldwide. You know,
I think a better comp is what the original Spider-Man made back in 2002, which was 825 million. I think that would be a better comp than Iron Man, personally. I just don't know if you can compare Iron Man and Superman in terms of popularity, especially back then.
I mean, definitely not in terms of popularity, but I'm seeing it more as like the start of like this franchise. You know what I mean? Like, and also people don't, you know, Spider-Man has more aura than Superman is the thing. People love Spider-Man a lot more than Superman. Superman is the go-to superhero that like people are familiar with, people know. But I feel like the general consensus around Superman is like, oh, but like he's just like the most powerful guy. Why would I want to watch a movie about where he struggles, where if he's not going to struggle? You know what I mean? Like, at least that's how I was a few years ago. And I just know that, like, that's just how a lot of people think about Superman. It was honestly a big surprise that like the movie did so well as it did. I was like very concerned about that last year. as if I'm like Peter Safran, as if I'm an executive at DC, being like, oh my god, we gotta crunch the numbers quick. No, but like genuinely, like here's the thing, I am not too concerned. They're definitely trying to build something. I also liked kind of Supergirl, kind of. We'll talk about it more within the review, but I didn't see it as this like big failure.
You're a fucking shill, bro.
No. You'll hear my takes. But
this guy's a clown.
But genuinely, I didn't hate it. I think what it was trying to do was one kind of just like cement the Superman, I guess, like brand and iconography, and we can get more into that later as well because I have thoughts about that, but. Just cement the Superman iconography, kind of like make the world used to the fact that like, okay, these are more movies that are coming out, I guess. And I do feel like, you know, there's a lot of glupshitos in this movie, but I feel like the point of the glupshitos is kind of just to expand the universe of DC past the point of Earth. Did they do a great job? You know, whatever. Point being, I'm not too concerned. Just because we are getting a Batman movie. It's called Batman Part 2 with Robert Pattinson, and I feel like that movie is gonna really determine the direction that they take in the Batman with Batman.
That movie's gonna make money regardless. That movie's making money regardless. And it's the Batman. It is probably one of the most hyped movies of the current times. Mm-hmm. I know the first one didn't hit $1 billion, but I feel like that particular iteration of Batman has grown so much in culture and popularity since it came out. That one's gonna make a stupid amount of money. Sure. I honestly think, and I hate to say it, they're only like to bring back some goodwill might be to merge. Like, I feel like
I can see that,
dude.
But do you think it's like really that cooked? Like, I don't think goodwill is dead from one movie.
Dude, I think it's bad. Bro.
I think Twitter is overreacting. Like, actually,
I don't, because this is a movie. I'm concerned that Gunn has trouble like distinguishing what's a good project that's out of his direct control. Let's look at The Flash, which he said was one of the best superhero movies he's ever seen.
I don't think he meant that. I think that was him trying to promote a film under the company that he just recently purchased and became owner of. Like, I don't think he actually meant that it was in this movie.
He said that the script was phenomenal, one of the best scripts he's ever read. Mm-hmm. And that's the script that we just watched. That we're going to talk about. Whether you liked it or not, you can admit there's huge script issues.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, I think here's genuinely a problem with James Gunn. bro talks way too fucking much. Bro says way too much shit.
He hasn't talked about this.
He hasn't talked about this. I agree. That's fucked up. But that's what I'm saying.
He hasn't talked about this.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think he should talk until he actually has like developments to make. I'm so sick and tired of this. Oh, it's coming soon. It's coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
Stop, because listen, I think that's a huge part of why the MCU worked. Kevin Feige didn't have a direct Twitter account to fucking respond to people on Twitter, right? He let his work speak for itself.
That's
which,
what I mean.
For the most part, up until a couple years ago, was super solid, right? This guy, James, listen, I love James Gunn. I love his movies. I'm worried about his skills as a studio exec on top of being a creative, because business and creative doesn't always mix exactly the best.
Yeah.
And I think that's perfectly proven by like our upcoming projects. Clayface. I think Clayface looks great. They played the trailer in front of Supergirl. Why is that the third movie that we're getting in this universe?
Yes.
Why are we getting Clayface before Batman?
Mm-hmm.
Like what is the reason? I don't care how good the script is. Save it for after you introduce Batman. Like I don't know what to tell you. I just don't know. Like, maybe on a creative level, like, the script is fantastic, I get that, but on a business level, you have to establish the core before the MCU established Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, before they made the Guardians and Ant-Man. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. I understand what you're saying. I also do agree, and I noticed it within this film as well. I was just kind of questioning while I was watching the movie, Supergirl. I was like, how much of this is Craig Gillespie and how much of this is James Gunn? Because I feel like you can see James Gunn's fingerprints all over Supergirl.
Oh yeah.
And it really made me question, like, how much control are you really giving these? How much control are you really giving these other directors? You know what I mean? Like, especially there was something. We'll talk about it more with the actual film, but it's been a big deal after the movie came out. The final needle drop. Craig Gillespie said in an interview that they spent like 4 days. Tim and James Gunn spent like 4 days.
Over 45 options.
Yeah,
I'm curious what the other options were.
Me too.
I would love to see the playlist, because that's what you go with.
And that's what I mean. Like, and James Gunn picked it himself. So I'm like, okay, brother, like, how are we doing this? Are you gonna let Craig Gillespie direct his film? Or are you going to just, like, oversee everything? Because, like, I think he's in between being a Kevin Feige and letting everyone just, like, do their own thing. And he doesn't really know what to do. I mean, to be fair, it's not easy. It's not easy to build up a world. And listen, like, I do appreciate kind of, like, letting this film be its own thing, kind of. I don't know. I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of, I guess, concerns. But also, I'm really... I only start being concerned when Clayface comes out, and also Lanterns. Once Lanterns drops, and we see kind of not just the quality actual piece, but the reaction to it itself, we'll see how that goes.
I'm worried Lanterns is gonna flop viewership wise. I don't know how many people are gonna watch it.
I don't know if it will flop viewership wise. I feel like people on HBO Max kind of watch anything, bro.
Yeah, but how many people? Like, I don't think Peacemaker did particularly well in the ratings, like in the views. Let me see.
Okay, but to be fair, Green Lantern is a bigger name than Peacemaker. And also, I think
right.
I also do think they're kind of doing something smart with it, depending on how it actually turns out in the actual like TV, in the actual episodes. I think they're doing something smart with it, which is they're making it approachable. They're not making it like the super colorful thing that Peacemaker was. They're making it like in the style of True Detective or whatever, which gives it a kind of a twist.
We'll see. Yeah, I hope it's successful. Listen, I don't want the DCU to fail. I want that to be clear. Like, I would love to see these movies like be good and all these shows be good, but they need to be good, right?
I think also when, like, we're in the
James Gunn. When James Gunn says that he's not gonna put any movie into production until the script is perfect. And then we look at this movie like this is the perfect script. Like, I don't know. I'm concerned about whether the goat is washed. That's all I got.
I don't think it takes one movie to say that the goat is washed. I think, Superman got so much goodwill, and Supergirl, honestly, like it really, I think it's being overhyped with how bad it is, genuinely.
Let's do this. Let's continue with this, and we'll get more into it during our review.
For sure.
All right. So that was number 2, Supergirl. We'll get more into our discussion during our review. Number 3 this weekend, Obsession. In its 7th week, it pulled in 9.8 million domestic, which means that domestic total is at 233.9 million, 344.1 million global. Only 27% drop from last week. I know, what's today? Yeah, so today it's going on digital. So I wonder how that'll affect the box office, if, people are going to choose to watch it at home rather than go to the theaters to watch it. Mm-hmm. We'll have to see, but, I think no matter what happens from this point on, we can all agree it has been an immense success. I'm pretty sure it just passed Sinners for, recent horror, box office, which is, crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just got this guy. So I know this guy who ports modern movies onto VHS tapes that actually work, and he designs the tapes, and it's it's like an art collectible, plus they actually work. And he just dropped his Obsession tape, so you already know dope. I bought that as soon as I saw it. Absolutely. Yeah.
Does he do the designs for the covers of the VHS tapes as well, or does he just port them onto a VHS?
No. He designs the VHS tapes themselves, the actual covers, and then he puts 2 or 3 trailers that fit the vibe of the movie before the movie. That's and so then cool. It's all it's really cool.
Are they old trailers or new trailers for new movies?
Well, it just depends on the movie. So I have Scream 4 from him, right? So I think they showed me a trailer for Saw, and just another horror movie from the time.
Cool, time
something that's appropriate. Yeah,
time appropriate.
Yeah, yeah. It is really cool. I actually last thing I want to mention about this guy, he made a tape that's supposed to be Stab within the Scream movie, and then before the movie starts, there's a 20-minute bit that the act David they cast inside of Scream that David Schwimmer is Dewey in the Stab movies, right? And all the other people are cast as different people, so they have a 20-minute behind the scenes thing as if Stab is real, and it's what they would have on the Stab DVD. So I guess they filmed it back in the day for some bonus feature thing, and then he ported it onto this thing, and it's just cool.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
That's so dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm checking out some of the I looked it up. I'm checking out some of the VHS ones. The Marty Supreme one looks dope. So does the Obsession one as well.
It's Brainbuster.
Oh, okay. I'm on Modern Home Video. Brainbuster.
No. It's Brainbuster.video. He low-key also does porn tapes.
Hell yeah. Hey, you gotta keep the lights on somehow, brother.
It's quite funny. He does horror themed porn movies. I don't know where the fuck he finds them, but Nightmare on Wet Street. Oh, A Wet Dream on Elm Street. That's what it was. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh my god, he did this. Oh, the Substance one looks so cool.
Dude, yes. And the FNAF ones are really cool. They look like training cassette tapes.
Yeah. Oh, that's so dope, bro. Yo, I gotta get on this shit.
Yeah. And then he does mixtapes of concerts, and he did Lost Attractions of Universal and of Halloween Horror Nights, and I don't know, I think it's cool because it's also an art piece, and they actually work.
And he did sponsor this episode. This is our official call out to.
I'm cutting this. Don't worry. No free promotion on my watch.
No, I mean, low-key, we could just call it out and just be yo, you guys should support this. You don't have to cut it out. It's dope. It's a dope small business. And if they want to sponsor us, they absolutely can, just contact us at popcornproblemspodcast@gmail.com and let us know. Thank you very much. If you want to send us free movies, absolutely. Hey, listen, brother, you got to get them somehow. But yeah, for sure. Please check them out.
Okay. Let's continue. Yeah. All right, so number 4 this weekend is Jackass, the new one, Best and Last. It opened to 8.4 million domestic, $10 million global on a $10 million budget. The franchise's lowest start ever, barely a third of the previous one, Jackass Forever, despite a series best A- cinema score. I did see this, and I will talk about it later on. And I'm a little sad that it opened so low because I think it's a really fun time. Other than that, not much going on. Mandalorian Grogu is almost out of the box office. Disclosure Day, not even past 200 million global. It's a little rough for movies that aren't like Obsession or big, franchise films.
Yeah, like small movies like Supergirl, like indie films like that, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah. Overall, year to date, we're up 15%. Toy Story 5 carried the weekend, taking 70 million of the 152.5 total on its own. Supergirl opened soft and set the usual superhero movies are dead talk ablaze. Next week we got Minions and Monsters, which is actually dropping on Wednesday, so it gets ahead of the 4th of July weekend, which is looking at a 100 plus million 5-day. And then because it does open on Wednesday, it's going to be a 5-day instead of a 3-day. And then the weekend after is a live action Moana. All right. I got a couple of news things I want to talk about, which now that I look at it, it's more DC stuff. So that's great. Actually, let me say a few things before I get into the DC stuff. Right. Gary Dauberman is writing the script for Five Nights at Freddy's 3. This is something I was really excited to find out because this guy's an actual horror writer. Nothing against Scott Cawthon, but I think it was a great idea to bring in another writer for this third one after some of the weaknesses of the second one. This is the guy behind the Annabelle movies, Chapter 1, It Chapter 2, The Nun, a lot of modern day horror, Until Dawn, which isn't that great. I did watch that. But whatever, this guy is behind a lot of horror movies. And I think it's exciting to have another voice in the writer's room. And, this is the one that's the big clash. We're getting a lot of Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich in here. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, we're going to be getting Springtrap. There's going to be a lot of
Avengers
cool stuff.
Endgame of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah. So you really want it to be good. So I'm glad that they're bringing in another voice. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing I wanted to mention before I get into some more DC stuff is that Michael is now the highest grossing biopic ever, passing Oppenheimer with 977 million worldwide. I really don't know at this point if it's hitting $1 billion. It's already fallen out of the top 10, but it's snailing, right? Mm-hmm. Snailing, and it did pass Oppenheimer. So it is the highest grossing biopic of all time. It does have that in its feather. Only 23 million out from $1 billion.
I don't know if
might hit it.
I don't know if it'll reach it. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think.
Yeah, at this point, I think it might be long over. Just because I don't know how many screens it has left. Yeah. There's so much in the marketplace right now. Maybe if they do a re-release before the second one, maybe it can make its way. But at the moment, I think $1 billion might be out of the picture, which is a little unfortunate, but we'll have to see. All right, getting into our DC stuff. This is on the animation side. This is not related to the DCU, but I just want to talk about some animated shows that were announced this week. 2 of them have piqued my interest. One of them I could really care less about. The first one, we're getting an Absolute Batman animated series. It's going to be an adult-oriented CGI series based on Scott Snyder's comic. It reimagines Bruce Wayne as a working-class hero and MMA fighter stripped of his traditional wealth. Snyder is serving as executive producer and showrunner. I think this is awesome. I think the Absolute Batman series is probably some of the best ongoing comics that we have right now. I think the whole Absolute universe is such an interesting place to take the DC stuff. And I hope that if this is successful, I'm sure it'll spawn a whole animated Absolute universe, which is really, really cool. I'm only actively reading Absolute Batman and then Absolute Green Arrow, which just started. Mm-hmm. But I know there's Absolute Flash, Wonder Woman, Superman, Martian Manhunter. The Absolute universe is getting quite expansive. And I think it's really cool. Are you familiar at all with the Absolute stuff?
Yeah.
Do you know like what the concept is?
Yeah. I mean, I've read a few. I've read, I think, the first Absolute Batman comic, and also Absolute Flash, and I have Absolute Martian Manhunter, but I haven't gone around to reading that one yet. Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm very intrigued with what like a series of this could be, especially because I know the comic itself is very not just like gory and gruesome and intense, but also like very intense with like its messages and with its theming, very like anti like fascist and like political in that sense. So how much they're gonna integrate that into the actual show itself, who knows? But I'm very interested. I think it's going to be neat. I think it's going to be cool. And I think if this turns out to be successful, it opens the door for more Absolute, whether it be films or shows or whatever. And I think next up on the docket is Absolute Martian Manhunter. Just because I know that comic has made a big splash ever since it's come out, both because of the quality of the writing and also just the beautifully unique art style that it has. I would love to see.
Have you seen the Green Arrow, the Absolute Green Arrow?
No, I have not.
It's beautiful.
Is it,
dude? It's really sick. Yeah. So okay, for those who don't know, pretty much the conceit of the Absolute universe is that it's like a universe made by Darkseid, where all the heroes are stripped.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, where all the universe are stripped, where all the superheroes are stripped of like a lot of the things that make them, and just to their core being. So like Bruce Wayne doesn't have any of his money; he's just a hero and a fighter, right? Green Arrow is like literally like a dead ghost. I mean, it just started, so we don't really know all the lore. It's only 2 issues in, but it's just a really cool concept, and I think, yeah, I'm honestly a little surprised it came so soon, because Absolute Batman, the Absolute Universe only started like a year or 2 ago. But judging, I mean, you know, seeing its success, both people liking it and also how much money it's pulling in, it has the most like comic sales.
Yeah.
You know, most of the top 10 is filled with Absolute stuff, so I'm not surprised.
There's also like a bunch of like varieties of it too. Like it's been super successful.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense that they would pick this one, considering all like the aura and clout that it has at the moment. Like, yeah, they want to capitalize on it, especially even if I do disagree. But especially considering the amount of people that did lose goodwill.
Damn. I just looked up what the Absolute Superman thing is, because I didn't know what his like changes. His thing is that he grew up on Krypton, and then he arrived to Earth as like an adult, like an evil, like an adult, like away from his like, you know, Smallville upbringing, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. I didn't know that.
And Absolute Wonder Woman is just raised in hell.
Yeah, like, she's actually just like a hell demon. I think that's so sick. I've been wanting to read.
Dude, I gotta read the rest of these. Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah, genuinely, I didn't know anything about. I didn't know that it was like a world created by Darkseid. That's really cool. I thought it was just like an Elseworld. That just like a new line of comics. I mean, it is, but I thought it was just like they were doing just like a new line of comics based on like this one thing. But it's really cool. I'm really into it, and I would love to see more.
Yeah.
More of these comics be put in motion in images.
Yeah. All right. So the next one, which is the second one I'm excited for, is Joker Laugh Riot. This is going to be DC Studios' first ever anime series. It follows the Joker on a ruthless, vigilante-like crusade through Gotham's underworld to find the person who murdered Batman. I don't know. I just think this sounds pretty cool. It kind of feels like a 5-issue comic run, but like in a TV show format. Like that. I don't know. That's just the vibe I get from that little text. But yeah, it should be cool. I don't know. This will probably come out maybe next year, the year after. We'll have to see. And then the third one is titled Crypto. This is the one I could care less about. It's a new series featuring Superman Superdog following the Canine as he joins a group of aspiring misfit criminal wannabes whose adventures take unlikely turns toward redemption. I don't really care. I think I'm a little cryptoed out at the moment.
Sure.
Between, you know, I mean, DC Super Pets was like a couple of years ago, but I didn't really I don't think I've ever really cared for crypto particularly. And I don't think this is a DCU thing. This is probably just like its own little animated series, but it's just like, I don't know. Can we have Batman and Wonder Woman, please?
Yeah, I mean,
last thing.
Wait, real quickly, I wanted to mention about crypto. I'm not particularly excited for crypto either. Just because like I don't care about the dog or the show or the movie that came out like a few years ago, DC Super Pets. But this show does interest me a teeny bit because the series is being produced by C.H. Greenblatt, and if you're unfamiliar with him, he did Chowder back then, and he also he was a storyboard artist for SpongeBob. He's done a lot of classic really classic cartoons, and his most recent work was that one like Yogi Bear show on HBO Max called like Yellowstone. He has a very unique and interesting both visual style and comedic style, and I don't know what that means for a crypto show, especially because it does give me like baby show type vibes, but if he can bring something interesting to it, then we'll just have to see. That's all I want to mention about the crypto show. It was very interesting.
Cool, thank you. I actually didn't know that, so I mean that does make me just like a teeny bit more excited, but still, like you said, it does feel like it's gonna be like more kid oriented. Yeah. Maybe something like the Spider-Man and Friends, something
like that. I mean, I hope not. I just don't see a world where a crypto show where he tags around, according to the tagline, tags around other heroes and other shit. I don't see a world where that isn't like for babies. But hopefully not. Maybe if it's
gritty and R-rated.
Absolutely, a gritty and R-rated crypto show where he's just chowing down on all Metropolis's villains. I think that'd be absolutely work. No, I mean if he can find the tone that's like kind of within like Chowder or Harvey Beaks, and be, and also if you just give him control over like kind of like these misfit superhero characters, I think that'd be fun. I think it could be a really interesting something. Yeah.
All right, and then the last thing I have to talk about is that the Deathstroke and Bane film is reportedly being prioritized at DC. It's being fast-tracked with no director or cast attached yet. This is what I'm talking about. Like, this came out, I think, like yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
After we already knew how much Supergirl made. This is the lesson that you're getting? Like, are we for real?
You wanted more Batman, right?
Like no, like not this. Like what are we doing?
The monkey's paw
what are
curls,
we doing? Bro, like I would take another Flash movie over this. I would take a Martian Manhunter movie over this. I would take a Green Lantern movie over this. Fuck. I would take so many things over this. And I'm sure it'll be cool, maybe. We'll see. But it's like, dude, like people are actively complaining that you're making stupid decisions, and then you're gonna fast track this instead of, I don't know, the Wonder Woman movie? Like, come on. I keep talking about Wonder Woman just because I'm so, like, Batman, okay, his excuse is Matt Reeves, right? Mm-hmm. Sure. What is your, like, Wonder Woman should have been the second movie in the universe.
You think?
Like,
I mean, would people...
We should have been reviewing Wonder Woman today. And then like they could have had Supergirl as a third,
I don't agree with that.
Whatever.
I don't agree with that. I don't think Wonder Woman has that same aura, has that same eye hype, and especially considering how.
Then give her that aura. I don't understand. Give her that aura.
No, but the thing is, I think it's too soon. I think it's too soon with the conversation of the previous Wonder Woman, and also like we just get. I don't know. I think it's too soon, and there was too much controversy with like the casting of whether it's going to still be Gal Gadot or like a new person. I think, I can understand the thought process behind putting Supergirl as their second film, even though I don't agree with it. I can understand it. I don't think you can't just throw three big winners, three big hits like one after the other.
Why not? What is
because then you lose all your ammo for like future hype, instead of like, okay, all right, the first thing I think the way he's working at it, or this is like my little theory, is we're in the Gods and Monsters era right now, as he's called it. And so
what is Wonder Woman?
Huh? Okay, yeah, fine, sure, she's a god. But when we're thinking of like gods of,
but no, Paradise Lost. Let's make a Hesperian TV show without Wonder Woman. I just don't get the fucking pop off.
To be fair, I think Paradise Lost is like canceled, isn't it, or something like that? Or is it still ongoing?
I don't know.
That's the problem. That's the problem. We don't know.
If you look at the original slate, I think we'll find out all this at Comic-Con, right?
Sure.
But if you look at the original slate, before Supergirl was supposed to come out, there's supposed to be like, one more movie. I think Brave and the Bold was supposed to come out before Supergirl. Like, this wasn't intended to be the second movie in the universe. Right? It just turned out that way. And I think that's not good.
I don't know. I like, what's the alternative here? Is just like not release a movie this year and like wait for what, like a year or 2 years to release Supergirl and just like have it shelved for that time? I don't know if that's the alternative.
Hold on, I'm looking. I'm trying to pull up what the original slate was.
I mean, like I said, I don't think it was intended for Supergirl to be the second film either. But I think all things considered, it's not the worst case scenario.
The Authority was supposed to be the second film.
Oh my god!
Oh
my god!
I'm done talking. You know what? This is the better pick. I can't.
Was that supposed to be like directly before Supergirl, or was there like other films before Supergirl?
No. So this was supposed to be the lineup. It was gonna be Creature Commandos and then Superman, and then it was gonna be Waller, and then that was gonna lead that was supposed to be right before the Authority.
Yeah.
And then Booster Gold, and then The Brave and the Bold, and then Lanterns, and then Supergirl. Oh my god, Supergirl was like third to last.
Oh boy. Yeah. Holy cow.
That actually shut me up so fast. The Authority was supposed to be number 2.
That's genuinely
I'll take
insane.
Supergirl.
That's genuinely insane. I don't know what, maybe I'm wrong actually. Maybe he doesn't know what he's doing. All things like I still agree though. All things considered, like Supergirl isn't the worst pick for a second film. I just think, it could have been better. It could have been more appropriate. It didn't have to be something related to Superman. But if it had to be something related to Superman, I'll take Supergirl. You know what I mean? It makes sense. More than the Authority.
That is actually. You know what?
Holy cow!
You know what? That is really funny. Okay. All right, that's all the news I had. Did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, not really.
Oh,
I think the only thing is, I don't know if you read about this. We didn't talk about it. A24 recently partnered with like Google to
I stopped reading all the AI talk just because every company's partnering with AI. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, no, I get you. I mean, A24, I would say A24 is a little bit more like significant than like any other company because they are.
No, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy to me.
Partitioner for like indie content or whatever, but they released a statement. They did.
Addressing.
I didn't know that.
What was the statement?
They said, our relationship with our audience is something we don't take for granted. This partnership exists because we want to dictate what tools get built for artists. And so they have a voice in shaping them rather than having tools handed to them. We'd rather have a seat at the table than on the sidelines. Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree. I think this kind of goes with my point that I was making when we had like that big AI discussion with Pablo, wherein it's better for these companies to, I mean, I don't love the fact that they're working with AI in general, but it's better that these companies like kind of dictate the limitations of where these tools like AI can go, rather than, I mean, basically what they said, rather than it just being given to them and like doing whatever they want with it. You know what I mean? I don't know. What do you think about this?
There's something we can do, right? It's gonna be implemented regardless, so I guess there's no use in fighting against it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. It does suck coming from a company like A24 though. A company that like, we've held to high regard for kind of literally no reason. I mean, not no reason. They definitely do make interesting stuff, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Oh boy. Oh god.
Yeah.
And that's it for me.
Yeah, just great talk all around.
Absolutely.
Let's move into what we watched. I'll start off this week. I watched the new Jackass film, Best and Last. I had a really great time with it. I'm not gonna pretend to be uber familiar with Jackass, right? I've seen a ton of clips, and I saw the previous film in theaters, but I didn't see the 2 films before that. And I haven't seen all of it. But I would say I'm pretty familiar. I like Johnny Knoxville, I like Steve-O. I think that they're fun, like, personalities to watch. And, it's great seeing, this crazy shit, happening that, like, you wouldn't really see.
Yeah.
This is, so they've said every single Jackass movie that it was going to be the last one. They said this last time. I think the last one was 2022, Jackass Forever. They said it the time before that, but you can really tell that they're getting up in age and that this is going to be the last one. This movie is both a compilation of best of moments, unreleased footage, footage that wasn't like MTV banned from being shown like from the original TV show, along with a bunch of new stuff as well. So I think as a Jackass like enjoyer, like I wouldn't say I'm a fan. Yeah, I'm a fan. Not the craziest fan, but I'm a fan.
Mm-hmm.
I had a fantastic time seeing some clips I've seen before, seeing some old stuff I've never seen before, seeing unreleased stuff that no one's seen before, and then some really funny and disgusting and wild and crazy new stuff that, you know, is new for the film. So I just had a really great time. You can really feel the finality in it. You can feel like it's you know, kind of emotional. Everybody's talking about their experiences. Yeah, it was just such a great time. It was really disgusting. I will say one thing that made me look away a lot in this movie. So these, I don't know, I think 4 or 5 of the guys. So obviously they've added new cast members as the movies go on. Mm-hmm. So it's not just Johnny Knoxville and Steve-O and the original fellas anymore.
Can I ask you something? Is Spike Jonze in this one?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'll bring that up later, but you can continue.
Okay. Yeah, Paul Walter Hauser is.
Okay.
He's like a cool cameo that was there.
Cool.
So pretty much these guys, they put on these bubble suits, right? They were naked in these bubble suits, which is just like a plastic thing around them, and they drank, I think, like 2 bottles of laxatives, like extreme laxatives. Yeah. And then they started playing Twister.
Oh my god.
And they were just shitting themselves, and it was disgusting and hard to watch, but it was hilarious. And that's just Jackass for you. It's like the most Jackass, like, you know, if you like Jackass, you're gonna have a good time with it. You know, you're gonna feel the sense of finality. It's nice seeing these people again and seeing how far they've come, and it's cool seeing the unreleased stuff that they weren't able to show, you know, years ago. Yeah, it's really cool. I had a great time with it. It's not a long film. It's only like an hour and 26. So it was in and out, and yeah, I was a big fan. I really like Jackass Best and Last.
That's great to hear. I guess. Wait, sorry. Were you done?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I didn't get to watch Best and Last, but I did watch the first Jackass. This is...
Oh, cool. I've never seen that one, actually.
Yeah. So I kind of do want to watch Best and Last at some point. Just because, like, I don't know. I've really never seen Jackass at all, really. I mean, other than just, like, clips here and there and just, like, hearing about the things that they've heard. I've seen the... Have you ever seen the paperclip or the paper cut scene? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Maybe.
It's where Johnny Knoxville gets like a bunch of paper cuts in between his fingers and like in between his toes.
Oh yes. Oh
yeah, that was absolutely dreadful, and I had seen that clip before, and I didn't know it was from the movie. It was from the first movie. So seeing that again in person, or not in person, but just being exposed to that again, I did not appreciate that at all. It was absolutely dreadful. But yeah, no, I actually really liked the first Jackass. And the reason I brought up Spike Jonze was because, for those who don't know, Spike Jonze is a director. He's directed several kind of like high art films like Her and Being John Malkovich and other things. Right now he's just kind of doing commercials. I think he's in his like selling out era. That's okay, you know, whatever. But yeah, he's made this like really like high art films. He was married to Sofia Coppola, and all of a sudden, and so I know him as this like really like artsy fartsy guy, and all of a sudden I see him in the fucking first Jackass shitting himself, literally shitting in his pants in a car, like, and then he goes to a hardware store and shits inside of a toilet that they're selling, like just an unconnected toilet. And he does some other things. He dresses up as an old man. He's just like and so I just completely did not expect that at all, which I thought was just pretty cool. But yeah, there's these Jackass movies, and I know it's a show. I know it was a show on MTV. And so I was kind of expecting when I started this first movie, I was like, okay, so they made this movie like a few years after the show was already pretty successful. And from what I know of the show, it's just like them doing like dumb skits and pranks and whatever. And so I started this movie before I started, I was like thinking like, oh, they're probably gonna give us like a little like introduction as to like who like the main members of Jackass are, and then like they're gonna give us like a funny like clips of like them doing weird shit as kids. And then they're gonna go into like the rest of the pranks. But nope, they just start. They literally don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They give us like a little like title card with like all the people in the movie with all the main members, and then they just start doing bullshit. And I'm like, you know what? Honestly, that was way better. That's way better than whatever bullshit idea I had about like a narrative and whatever backstory.
I agree.
It's crazy.
This last one has a really fun intro to Hero. Like, I need a hero.
Oh yeah.
And they're like on like moving floors, and they're all like posed, and it's they're all getting fucking smacked by big giant hands. Mm-hmm. And it's just so fun. And it definitely put me in Jackass fever, and I'm gonna watch the first and the second one, so at least I've seen all the movies. And I also just found out that Johnny Knoxville was the voice of Leonardo in the live-action Ninja Turtles movie.
Fucking hell yeah. That's so dope. He absolutely and honestly, from what I remember, that wasn't a bad performance either. I did learn a little bit. Like, I think he wanted to be an actor or like a writer. No, I think he wanted to be a writer in Hollywood before he started doing Jackass. And it's also something I want to mention about Johnny Knoxville. Generally, how is that man still alive? I've heard so much about the things that he's done, both in and out of Jackass, and I'm just like, there's no reason. Bro is bended. Bro is like literally concussed himself after like fighting bulls. Bro, like he ends up in the hospital in this last movie. Yeah, it makes sense. And he's like 50 or 60 something now, and I'm like, how is he still doing this? Dude, it's incredible. It's insane. I don't understand how half of those people aren't dead. I know some of them are, or one of them is, I think, Ryan Dunn. But what I'm saying is, I'm surprised none of these people died doing any of these things on camera, at least to my knowledge.
No cast members or crew have died while actively filming a stunt.
Yeah, I think that's incredible. Like, how the fuck? Like, genuinely, the human body can sustain so much. We need Jackass people are an example of the of the elasticity and survivalness of human nature. Hell yeah. Great movies overall.
Had such a great time.
I want to watch the best and last. I heard there was also a clip show. Like, they show a lot of older clips.
So yeah, it's a mix of older clips. Like I said, things I've never seen. Mm-hmm. But I guess if you've seen all the movies, you would have seen them before. But older clips that were in previous movies and TV shows. Unreleased footage, like stuff that was not allowed to be shown on MTV. Like, there was this one thing where oh my god, he fucking put on a bulletproof vest and put some porn mags like underneath the vest, mm-hmm. and then shot himself from like point blank range with a pistol. Mm-hmm. Like, no shit, that couldn't be shown on fucking MTV. But like, they showed that for the first time, and then obviously there's new stuff as well. But a lot of the newer stuff, it's less dangerous and more just disgusting and painful.
Yeah, okay, interesting. Okay, cool.
But it's still very much worth a watch. Had a great time.
All right, for sure. And I also do very much recommend Jackass, the first movie.
Cool. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
I guess I'll just talk about this quickly. I watched the, I want to say 2003 version of Cat in the Hat. Not for any reason in particular. It was late night, and it was just about that. It was about that mood, it was about that time. And honestly, I was very surprised, just because, I mean, as a kid, it's like one of those movies that I saw a lot as a kid for some reason. And I was going to revisit it, and I wasn't really expecting to, like, think much of it. Also, because I remember at the time when it came out, I heard about this recently. At the time that it came out, it got, like, a pretty negative reception from everyone. It also made... I think it's the movie that made the estate of Dr. Seuss stop doing live action Dr. Seuss films and like only commit to doing animated ones. I think something like that. So it was like that bad.
I actually I believe you're right.
Yeah.
I heard something like that.
Yeah, so it was like apparently that bad. So I was expecting kind of like that type of movie, and I actually had an incredible time with it. And like genuinely, no, I want to try to separate myself from like obviously the, like my childhood bias of it. I also don't think I would have liked it as much if I didn't like grow up with it and like I was already like familiar and had that sort of like, you know, feeling for it. But also as a adaptation of the book, you know, it's kind of perfect. Like the book is this like zany, weird, cartoony, like nonsensical thing filled with like very interesting art and animation, and also just, or not animation, just art, drawings, and the writing of Dr. Seuss and his like own like nonsensical rhyming nature. And the movie is the same fucking thing. It's nonsense, it's stupid, but it's also very visually impressive. Like you can tell they put a lot of work in the production design. I also learned this later on that they literally made a whole neighborhood just so it can have that look for the film. I think that's something that isn't done anymore. Maybe like for the Odyssey they did that or some shit. But like for like a movie like The Cat in the Hat, like you wouldn't think of doing that. You know, and it's not like a careless adaptation either. You can tell like the directors and the writers and also the actors, like Alec Baldwin. There's I believe a young Dakota Fanning in this, where like she's incredible, like the child actor.
Oh really?
Yeah. Let me make sure of that. But and like everyone is doing. Oh, Mike Myers, yeah, a young Dakota. Yeah, she's the little girl. And like I said, Alec Baldwin and Mike Myers is also like giving like a really strange, like off-putting yet like also funny performance, which is how I feel the Cat in the Hat would be if you put them in real life. Just like this like weird like freaky thing that's also just like, I don't know, it just makes sense. I feel like this movie it was ahead of its time in its timelessness. It's just zany and freaky and weird, and it could be unfunny at certain aspects, but that almost makes it like it almost horseshoes back to being funny. And I can't place this film in any time in history, like in terms of like what it's trying to like represent, other than when it was made, which is like 2003, which was the early 2000s was like this very interesting era of filmmaking where just like people were throwing shit at the walls and seeing what stuck and throwing money everywhere because they could. And you know, it's an incredible and while I say that to say that it's timeless. I could watch this film 20 years from now and still understand it perfectly, and I could have watched this film 20 years ago and like how I did, and I understood it. And it's not just for kids either. There's like plenty of adult humor that isn't like gratuitous. It's like actually just funny. Yeah, I don't know. I think The Cat in the Hat from 2003 is severely underrated, and they should just cancel the new one because we don't need another one. They already got it right the first time. And I'm honestly not excited for this new Cat in the Hat movie. I'm not even a big like Cat in the Hat fan. I would consider.
Dude, it looks bad.
It does look bad.
It
does look awful. I'm not gonna
the Bill
lie.
Hader one.
Huh?
The Bill Hader one.
Yeah, toot fart, bro.
Oh my god.
I'm not excited for it, and I would consider myself a Dr. Seuss fan. I read a lot of his books growing up.
Did you just say toot fart?
Okay, well maybe, you know what, maybe it's making me laugh, so maybe I'm the target audience for it.
Yeah, because you're a fucking idiot.
But yeah, like I don't know. No, dude, I saw that new trailer and they were like, the fate of the universe is in his hands, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I don't need this. I actually don't need this. I don't need to watch this. I think I will anyway because I'm a shill, but no, but it's really awful. But yeah, I would recommend, if you've ever have a curiosity, I would 100% recommend The Cat in the Hat from 2003.
Thank you for that.
For sure.
While you were yapping about that, I locked in my New York Comic Con tickets, just so you know. All
Hell yeah.
right. Can we move in?
Oh yeah,
to
absolutely.
the
Yeah,
review?
that's
Are we
it.
good?
That's it. That's all I have to say about that.
Cool. Cool. I guess a last thing, I did watch Minions and Monsters last night. I got an early screening, but since it is going to be our main review for next week, I'm not going to say anything about it. But I did want to mention that I watched it. All right, so here is our Supergirl review. First, I'll start with a summary off the internet, then we'll talk spoiler-free, and then we'll get into spoilers. Here we go. When an unexpected and ruthless adversary strikes too close to home, Supergirl reluctantly joins forces with an unlikely companion for an interstellar journey of vengeance and justice. Where do I begin?
Yeah, I want to hear your thoughts first.
I unfortunately was quite disappointed by this movie. I thought it was boring. I thought it was underwritten. I thought it was incredibly ugly. And I feel like this is not the DCU that we were promised. I'm gonna just say that. Starting movie, on, like honestly, very, very disappointing. I went in with very high hopes, even regarding the initial like not so great reviews. I really, really wanted this to be good. Unfortunately, I cannot say that it is. Getting into details, I really, really, really did not like a lot of the story changes that they made to the original comic. Not just because I like the original comic particularly much, but just because I think the changes that they made are stupid and make the story less interesting to watch. I think the addition of Lobo in this movie was insanely unnecessary. He added absolutely nothing to this movie other than, hey guys, Lobo's in here. I think the whole MacGuffin of it being a 3-day trip to save crypto is ridiculous. In the comics, it's a like months-long expedition. You really see the growth in the characters. You get to learn more about Kara and Ruthie, and you actually, there's actual character progression. I think the villain was incredibly weak. I thought his design was ridiculous. It almost felt like he was in a different movie than what we were watching. Like, nobody really understood what they were going for with the movie, I feel like. He was evil just for the sake of being evil. I couldn't tell you a single thing that he said, or his motivations, or what. He just is bad guy. He just is bad guy. Everything that happens in this movie, I feel like I've seen a million times before. I'm honestly surprised that James Gunn let them copy Guardians of the Galaxy as hard as they did. I mean, that whole train sequence in the middle, that looks like the costumes are from Guardians of the Galaxy, the concept is from Guardians of the Galaxy, the look of the spaceship is from Guardians of the Galaxy. It just all feels incredibly, incredibly redundant. The needle drop. I feel like it's stupid to even talk about the needle drops because that's what everybody's saying. But it's not just that final one. There's one or two other ones throughout the film that just feel so out of place and so stupid and funny and not in the way the movie wants it to be. The movie's always finding reasons. Listen, making a super person movie is difficult just because they are so powerful. But I think at some point I was so incredibly tired of them depowering Kara or finding reasons for her to not be at full strength. It was so ridiculous and it was so boring and it wasn't fun to watch. I feel like they really didn't explain anything. The yellow, I guess that's a spoiler. I'll get into that in spoilers. I don't know. I feel like it really didn't define the DCU as a universe. It really just felt like a mix of Star Wars and a mix of, the Marvel Galactic world. It felt a lot like Captain Marvel. There was elements of Mad Max in there. Visually, it looked like The Flash. What else? Seth Rogen. I love Seth Rogen. I think he is hilarious. Why is he in this?
You didn't like every this time. I actually kind of like this character.
I didn't. Every time he spoke, it took me. Listen, if it was like a cameo of like 1 or 2 lines, it would have been good.
Yeah.
But he was there for so long. It was so
They kept cutting back
annoying.
to him a little bit, yeah. And he wasn't that particularly funny.
I didn't enjoy it. I don't think any of the creature designs were that interesting, to be honest. I don't know. I just feel like the movie constantly was looking for reasons to depower Kara and for her not to be at her full power, which is just not interesting. You know, I was coming in here to see a Supergirl movie. The DCU has already showed us that Supergirl is an active character, right? We saw her outline in Peacemaker.
Mm-hmm.
We saw her at the end of Superman. Here, it almost felt like this takes place before all that, which we know it doesn't. It almost felt like, I don't know, like it just felt very stale and empty. I'm gonna let you go because I feel like I'm rambling. What did you like about this movie?
Yeah, honestly, I liked more of the movie than what I didn't like about it. Honestly, I on Letterboxd I gave it like a 3 out of 5, and like out of 10 that'd be like a 6. I'd probably give it like a 6.5 or 7. Yeah, I think the main culprit of this film, the main person to blame more than anyone, is the editor.
Oh my god, yeah, it's edited horribly. The pacing is
awful.
As well.
It's edited horribly. Genuinely, I don't. If they could get a job doing Supergirl, I do have a shot. I do have a shot in Hollywood. Like, holy cow, you have a shot. Like, genuinely, because it's clear that not just things aren't just like cut weirdly. The action, it's there. You know, it's these literally half-second takes that last, and then you're on to the next thing, on to the next reaction, on to the next like pose or face. I can't focus on anything. And not just that, I can tell that there's like a lot being cut within the actual film, like whether it be like a dialogue or just the way that things are sequenced. I also think the script isn't great. You know, I think I don't know. I do want to talk more about the script in spoilers. It's not a great script, but it's also not a completely irredeemable script. I just feel like it was touched up on too much. It was too many cooks in the kitchen, which is again why I'm judging if this was a Craig Gillespie or James Gunn, or maybe I don't know who the actual writer of this film is. Actually, if you
Anna Nogueira,
sorry,
who by the way is allegedly attached to Wonder Woman and to Teen Titans.
Yeah, that I mean,
you know, get used to her.
That's what I mean. She's like a writer of like a few like kind of no-name projects before working with DC and James Gunn, which is also just like a very weird thing. Again, like I don't want to like judge on her too much because she hasn't made too much, but also, you know, based on Supergirl, it's not giving me a lot of hope either. I don't understand her pick for like so many films in the future. I don't know. Point being, there's a lot being done. There's a lot being touched up, but through all of this like kind of flaw that I'm seeing, I do see, you know, I didn't have too high expectations. I don't know what high expectations you had. I knew this was not going to be as good as Superman, and even when the reviews came out, I was like, oh god, it could.
But why couldn't it be? Why?
Because it's Craig Gillespie, and I also like,
why?
And that's the other thing too. I know what kind of director Craig Gillespie is. He's the guy who did Cruella from like a few years ago. The only like thing of note that like he's really like that I really liked of his I think he did the one like Hulu show. Oh, he did Dumb Money, he did I, Tonya, Lars and the Real Girl, and I think he did a Hulu show with Seth Rogen as well.
I like Dumb Money.
Yeah, I like Dumb Money too, but it's not like an incredible film, and overall it's a fairly simple film in terms of like what actually has to be done and shot, you know what I mean? Pam and Tommy, that's the show I'm talking about. It's like the okay. Have you seen it? Do you know what I'm talking
about? It's about Pamela Anderson. I haven't seen it. I know Sebastian Stan.
Yeah, it's a really weird show, but I was really into it. And he has like a very he has a weird way of directing that sometimes can be visionary and other times can just be like boring and plain. And unfortunately, I think we got the most boring and plain Craig Gillespie in this film. That's what I mean. Like, I did not have high hopes for this film at all. I knew it was going to be mid. And overall, I wasn't bored. I kind of got into it a little bit. I kind of got into Kara's narrative at first. Can we just go into spoilers?
Yeah, I will say, like, by the second time that she got depowered, like with the yellow and green sun or whatever, I was checked out of the movie. I was like, okay, like, really, is this what we're doing? Because you got to remember, yes, people have been comparing this to the MCU, and I'm sorry, I know I interrupted your thought.
No, you can go ahead.
Just let me get this off my out of my brain. I know people compare this to, like, the Incredible Hulk coming out after Iron Man. We are in very different times from then and now. This movie shouldn't have been, like, just another thing. Like, this should be expanding the universe.
And I feel like it did that.
The fact we didn't see...
I feel like it did that.
Did it, though?
We saw...
The fact that
we got lore on Krypton, which was actually interesting.
Not really. We got lore in Argo City.
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that. And it was the first time we saw Krypton, also. Like, the first time we saw Krypton exploding. Mind you, from a fairly interesting perspective of not just Superman, which I appreciated.
Did we really learn anything about Krypton? Like, did we learn about if they're all, like, I feel like this was the movie to really, like,
well, we didn't have to learn anything about. I mean, we know about these like we know about these stories. What I learned about Krypton is that, oh, okay, not all the Kryptonians died. I mean, I know not all the Kryptonians died because we have, like, other villains and shit like that. But I mean, like, how did they survive? Okay, cool. They got, like, on this, like, dome planet, and then eventually everyone. That's a spoiler. Okay, we're just gonna start spoilers. All right, this is the beginning of spoilers.
We've been in spoilers.
This is the beginning of spoiler discussion. All right.
Yeah. If you haven't seen the movie and you plan to, now's a good time to click off.
Yeah, so they got on this city, and then everybody started getting cancer, and that's also how Kara is technically older, but still Superman is, like, older. We also get to learn, like, about her and, like, her situation. And another reason why I feel like this movie expands the universe is because, this is kind of a complaint that I also have, but it kind of, I don't know, I'm in the middle of it. All the different creatures and glupshidos, all the different little shits that are throughout the film, all the aliens, right? Like, they're I just wish we had more focus on more specific ones. And I wish when we did focus on, like, other things or other characters, whenever they wanted to make these things characters, then we should have just held on them instead of going to the next fucking thing. Because I think they wanted to expand the universe, but they did that too much. Like, they showed all these different species, and in turn, we just kind of got nothing. We got nothing out of all of them. They were all just randos. When I'm sure, like, they kind of have, like, some sort of species thought behind them. Maybe not. We'll see if they come back. I understand why people saying why people are saying that it didn't expand the universe, because at the end of the day, these are just random aliens that we learn nothing about. Truly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't just show something. It's show don't tell.
But here's what I'm saying. Like, also, like, how was the first Star Wars? You know what I mean? People are comparing this to Star Wars.
The first Star Wars, that's a horrible
No.
example. That is, like, the movie pinnacle of
I understand,
but
but listen, here's the thing. The first Star Wars, I'm not comparing this to the first Star Wars in quality at all. To be fair, we are in very different worlds where Star Wars was the first of its time. Like, there was nothing that looked like Star Wars back then. And we are in a post-Star Wars universe where something akin to that now, like, a movie like Star Wars coming out now, not being its own franchise, maybe would not be as well. It'd just be like, we've seen this before. Maybe, that's what I'm saying. But also what I'm saying is, like, we didn't know anything about these different species that we were encountering when that movie first came out, or at least I'm assuming. We just learned that they're weird little freaks, and they all are in a bar, and they're all, like, chilling, and then they built lore on top of them. Are they going to do the same with this movie? Probably not. Or maybe they are, because they have the potential to do that now that they're in a cinematic universe. But I don't think every single species in this movie was significant, or they're gonna give a name, or they even have a name. But I think they're kind of trying to evoke that same sort of sense of like there's this vast universe with all these different worlds and all these different languages. I did appreciate that within the writing.
Like, did you get that? Like, I don't know. I feel like I just didn't.
I didn't
really feel that.
No, I didn't really feel that either. I think I'm trying to defend this movie a little bit, or not a little bit. I definitely am trying to defend this movie. Also, because like I didn't have a bad time with it. I wasn't bored. I didn't think Millie Alcock. I thought Millie Alcock was pretty good as Supergirl. I kind of liked the dynamic that she had with Superman too. I thought they had great, like they had good on screen chemistry. I was into her story, I was into her arc a little bit. And at first when they started showing her backstory, like in these like segments, I was like, oh my fucking god, like I'm done. I don't want to deal with a backstory. But I kind of got into it a little bit. Like I said, I became interested in the story of Krypton. Not Crypto. I don't give a fuck about Crypto. That was another thing too. I wasn't a big fan of Crypto throughout the film, and I kind of liked how they excluded him from a lot of it. And they made
yeah.
Even though I don't really love the way that the way that they treated that story, I feel like every single revenge film is like John Wick these days, where they're like, oh, I have to save my dog. You know what I mean? Like I'm this dark, brooding character that doesn't care about anything, but I care about a pet. So that pet is gonna, literally. But I also see a world where they were trying to avoid it being too similar to Superman, because I was like, why couldn't they just capture Krypto instead of like killing him? But then I'm like, oh, that they do that in Superman though, and then she just have the same story as Superman, where he's just trying to get his dog back. I don't know. I don't know if Krypto should have been in Superman if they were gonna focus on him in this one. I think it's just too much. I mean, they're just trying to make him a mascot. I agree. I don't think I'm not the biggest fan of Krypto either. I don't think he's like that interesting of a thing. I guess a character. But I think they're just trying to make him a mascot, and I think James Gunn just likes pets. So that's what we're gonna have to deal with. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I will say. Sorry, continue. I don't really have to say. I really have fun. Yeah, a lot of the action was almost ununderstandable. Yes. Like, if you're really looking at what Kara's doing, like there's this one clip that I saw where it was like she like carried a tank up in the air just to laser the person that was holding onto it for some reason. Like, just things like that are just so not needed at all. And it just, I think if they got more like a director that's more skilled at directing action, make it more visually interesting, it could have been better. The kryptonite thing, isn't kryptonite supposed to be like this rare hard to find thing? Like, why does everybody seem to fucking have kryptonite? It's like, I understand it's like their only weakness, but like, can you at least give me like an interesting way? To be fair, they were on a green sun planet, so it wouldn't be that hard to like find it on a planet that has that. But she got shot by the kryptonite arrow before that. No, she didn't. She got shot by the kryptonite arrow after that. That's the kryptonite arrow was like the big climax. Or it was the big like final fight. Are you sure? Like, they landed on the green planet, and then Kara started dying, and then the yellow sun came out, and then she had the fight with the big bad, and then she got shot with the kryptonite arrow. Oh, you're right. Whatever. This just adds to my point of her constantly needing to get. I agree, though. I do think the depower thing is annoying. I think I did want to see a Supergirl movie, and did I get as much of a Supergirl movie? I would have liked more powers. I agree. And I'm not the biggest fan of how they were used. Yes, why does she not use her powers? What's with all the fucking punching and kicking? You are Supergirl. You are almost as fast as the Flash. You have all these incredible powers, and you don't care about killing people the same way Superman does. What are you fucking doing? Why are we doing a Serve Dracula thing where she only gets her suit for the last 5-10 minutes of the movie, and for the rest of it is fucking Peter Quill? Significant, bro. Literally, she is Peter Quill. That literally, I didn't think of that.
Literally the same fucking middle finger joke to the knockoff Ravagers that they have in this thing that look like the fucking same. It's all they even did the thing of her going into space and freezing over that they did with Peter Quill in Guardians 3. The same exact visual and everything. When that happened, I was like, are we fucking serious right now?
They did not do a good job of giving this movie the time.
I have not
at all.
Yes, I have not gone into how ugly this movie is. This movie is honestly, I am shocked they released it in its current state. It looks worse than The Flash, and especially when you compare it to the source material, which is one of the most beautiful and colorful and vibrant comics I've ever seen.
Does it look worse than The Flash?
It is just so...
I don't know if it looks worse than The Flash.
Dude, I don't know what to tell you. I saw it on IMAX, and so I saw it on that big-ass screen, and dude, it looked disgusting. I think that's really kind of the point. This movie looked. I hated.
I mean, here's what I'll say. Like,
don't tell me it's the point.
Well,
don't
because like a little bit, like all of the creatures are supposed to look like weird and gross. Like they're not supposed to look cute and cuddly. And I think they're in like a grimy world throughout the whole film. Like they're not like in the good part of the solar system where everybody is like rich. You know what I mean? They're in like bars and like buses.
But then adapt a different Supergirl story. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just tired.
I think there was a way to make this movie look good, and they didn't do a good job at that. I think there was like sorry, continue. I'm cutting you off.
I'm tired of people creating these projects when they have no reverence or even connection to the source material. It makes no sense to me. A perfect example is Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Okay, that's probably my favorite book. The guy who made the movie for Goblet of Fire, he literally himself said he didn't really like the book and he had trouble getting through it. Why are you making the movie based on this book? Why?
But you like
so many people.
Or you said that was the worst one or the best one?
I said it's my favorite book. They cut out a lot of stuff from the movie.
Okay.
There's a lot of great stuff that's just not there. And I do like the movie, right? But it's nowhere near as good as the book. Why? Because you're not having someone that actually cares about the source material. I think for a good adaptation, and this has been proven time and time again, things are adapted good when people that care about the source material, and actually understand it. You know what was crazy to me? In the comics, Krem doesn't get killed by Supergirl, okay? He gets sent to the Phantom Zone. Like, Supergirl's like, oh, we're not killing him. Sent to the Phantom Zone. Flash forward. Supergirl goes to visit like an old Ruthie. They unbanish him. He says sorry, or he's like whatever, like rehabilitated, and then she bonks him on the head with a cane. Okay, that's how it ends. The director and the writer, both Anna Nogari, whatever her name is, and Craig Gillespie, in an interview, openly admitted to misunderstanding the ending. And we're under the impression that her, like, hitting him in the head with a cane, like, killed him. They were like, Ruthie kills him at the end of the book. No, she doesn't. She's just like an old lady that bonks him on the head with a cane.
How much do you know about the comic? I just want to ask you. Because I have a question.
A decent amount.
A decent amount. Is the, like, morality of Ruthie killing the main bad guy, is that like a part of the book? Is that like a theme in the book?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Definitely. The whole
okay.
Don't kill, like, we can rehabilitate. Like, I don't know. I just think, like, how did James Gunn not catch that misunderstanding? Even if they wanted to make that change for the movie, okay. I feel like they would have spoken about it and he would have realized, like, hey, they don't kill him at the end of the book, right? Like, it's just a complete misunderstanding of the source material, which is, I don't know, ridiculous to me. And I thought that was the whole point. The whole point of the DCU is you have James Gunn, who's a big comic guy. You have Tom King as a comic advisor, who worked on this book, by the way. He didn't fucking say anything either. And the whole thing is that it's supposed to be more, for the fans, like, comic accurate, like, we're gonna follow the comics and we're gonna make it like a real life, like, comic book brought to life. And I don't know. I feel like this movie really set that back a little bit.
Here's the thing. Okay. So yeah, I didn't know a lot about the book at all. And I think that I'm better for it, because what I'm hearing is that, like, if you know about the book, I mean, the book is just great, and so if you watch the movie, it's a poor adaptation. I mean, you just said that, and I've also like heard that from other people as well. So yeah, it's better that I didn't know anything about the book. What I will say is, this is one of my biggest flaws throughout the film is like the writing of the morality of everything. Just because, yeah, pretty much what you just said. Supergirl spends the whole movie trying to like lecture this girl about not killing the fucking villain, and then she just goes ahead and kills him anyway. And at the end of the day, like, I'm like, why couldn't she just give the girl her kill, if, you know, to conclude her arc? You know, it just feels like it made no sense. It made no sense. And also, Supergirl is killing people throughout the whole film. So for her to preach about like not killing people, it just feels contradictory. It doesn't make sense.
She killed the guy. She killed the guy escaping the prison. It's not like she hasn't killed him.
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. She's killing people throughout the whole movie. Like, I'm like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, the morality of it. I can understand, like, maybe like just not wanting her to kill people, but it sucks. It's not great. It's not great. I'll also say that, like,
did you like Lobo? I just want to say you haven't spoken about Lobo once, and I think that's a testament to his role in this movie. Did you like Lobo?
I have mixed thoughts on Lobo, because I did not like his introduction at all. Bro, they literally have a whole fucking bar fight, like a whole fucking extravaganza. This shit like should have burned this fucking bar to the ground. And then all of a sudden they sit down again, mind you, introduce new characters that weren't even there to begin with, that were just watching it. And then while those characters are talking, that's when Lobo starts fucking walking around. It's like he's spawned in, like activated. I thought that was fucking bullshit. I did not love that.
It reminded me of Zeb in the Mandalorian.
Low-key, I don't remember Zeb's introduction to the Mandalorian and Grogu, and I think that...
But, no, I just mean the character because of how little they do. He actually...
Well, I don't know about
why was he in this movie? Tell me what he did. Tell me what he added to this movie.
Okay.
Tell me, please.
The things that he added I did not like, is the thing. He saves Supergirl at the very end, and he, assists, I think, the little girl at some point. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Why does Supergirl need to be saved? Just fucking let her be powerful. Like, it's dumb. It's dumb.
I also have to talk about this a little bit. I'll go back to talking about Lobo. But yeah, I'm also just not the biggest fan of her being depowered all the time. I think it's I think it's a good way to, like, write in a threat.
Yeah, it has to happen.
It
has to happen. It happened in Superman.
Yeah.
Right? That just... You have to do that to tell a compelling Superman story, but like,
it also kind of
has to be interesting.
I mean, it is kind of like, it's not. It does make sense in terms of like her character, because like she's a drunk, and so she can't be drunk without being essentially human. And then every single other time that it happens, she's like been poisoned or double crossed. The thing is, like, it works within the plot of the movie.
Oh my god, the double cross.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that double cross either. I don't know if
from a mile away. What a fucking idiot.
Yeah, no, actually.
So you're telling me you see them suspiciously talking. You go down, and then they offer you this special tea that they themselves are not drinking. Are you fucking
Supergirl
kidding
is stupid in this movie, bro. At the very end, this is the last thing I remember, but
she is dumb as rocks.
At the very end, when she's like still fighting, and she like finds the power to like laser some guys, like after she's been shot by the arrow, and then she's like taking out the arrow, she still has like an arrow sticking in her, like for like a good like 2 minutes after she's already like fighting and finding her power back, and I'm like, bro, just take it out. Like, that arrow is actively affecting you, is actively making you worse. Just take it the fuck out. Like, I don't understand that. There was like other moments throughout the film where I'm just like,
and like, Supergirl isn't a dumb character. Like, she's not supposed to be stupid. Like, it just feels like a misunderstanding of like a blatant misunderstanding. I'm not gonna pretend to be the biggest Supergirl fan or to know the most about her, but I know she's not fucking stupid. Like, she is actively dumb in this movie, so dumb, and not when she's drunk. Like, she's done being like, she's drunk for the first bit of the movie, whatever. But by that point, she is not drunk. She's not a ditz. Like, what the fuck?
No, I mean, I agree. I agree 100%. Like, she's not a stupid. I know that she's not a stupid character, and I know less about the character. But yeah, I don't understand. There's like some things that I just don't understand, and I really, like I said, I really feel like it comes down to Craig Gillespie being an absolutely, he's a studio. Oh, he said in an interview like, that he was surprised by how much control he was given by James Gunn, because he was like, James Gunn said to him like, no, we're making all these movies. And this is a quote from him. He said, "We're making all these movies like a graphic novel. So like think of this movie as your own graphic novel." And Craig Gillespie was like, "Great." So like yeah, so I was like, "Okay, cool. I'm going to go ahead with that." And I'm like, graphic novels, they have a point. They have a story. They don't just exist to be as a product for a cinematic universe. They exist from an artist. They take a lot of passion to create, even the shitty ones. They take a lot of passion to create. What the fuck does Craig Gillespie have to say? Especially about Supergirl. You know what I mean? Like, nothing. He has absolutely nothing.
Why was he chosen to direct this movie?
You know why? Because he made I,
get
Tonya, and because he made Cruella. Cruella, I haven't even seen Cruella, and I haven't seen I, Tonya either, but I know people like I, Tonya.
I like Cruella. It was alright.
So that's what I mean. He's known for making like feminist movies for some reason. Does that mean that he's able to make a feminist movie about like intergalactic relations and setting up a whole universe? No, absolutely fucking not. Craig Gillespie is a very simple director. He works best when he's in a simple like world, when he's in like reality. Is what I've noticed. So I don't understand why they would have hired him for this fucking shit. This makes no sense at all. It's things like that where I do question James Gunn, the decisions about who he hires. But if that can get me a job at some point, I don't really mind. You know what I mean? But genuinely, like, no, yeah. Like I do question it. And also like, yeah, how much control is he giving these people? I think this movie is an indicator. It's a good time to have this movie happen in the very beginning of this building of the cinematic universe or whatever, to learn to come back from it, just because I do think there is a lot to learn, and I do question how much control he is in versus how much control he lets the other people have. I do think a world where James Gunn lets the creatives have more control is a better world. And I'm curious about Clayface. I mean, they're still editing it. They're still in post-production.
Yeah, I am too.
So, things can still change.
If they're smart, they're fast-tracking a Batman something in there.
I mean, I feel like Clayface is going to, like, satisfy that a little bit. Don't you think? They're gonna have some sort of Batman mention, especially if it's based on like the episode, the Batman animated series episode. I don't think they're gonna do that necessarily, but there's some Batman in that world already.
Yeah. I have a couple last thoughts. David Cornsweet is the perfect Superman. Every time he was on screen, it was electric. I do like the chemistry between Supergirl and Superman. So I am excited to see more of the character in Man of Tomorrow. Like, I'm excited to see more Supergirl. I just think her first outing was very, very weak. There was one more thing I wanted to say. Could we not have gotten a Lantern in here?
Very true.
It doesn't have to be our Green Lantern. It doesn't have to be a Green Lantern. It could be a Yellow Lantern. It could be... I mean, this isn't, an expansive universe, right? Can we... Like, I'm not even asking, like, to jingle keys and to, set up all these things, but something. This is the start of a universe. You need to be building out, like, the first phase was all about building out the universe and, who knows who and, different characters are overlapping. And just like, dude, can we not have gotten, like, something Green Lantern?
I mean,
Anything?
I think that's why Lobo was here. I didn't finish giving my thoughts. I also want to hear your thoughts on Lobo. I mean, I'm sure they're not great. But like his introduction was weak, and every single time they like brought him into a scene, it was just weird, and it didn't really fit the tone of the rest of the film.
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't mind him as a character, and I do think he brought like a certain different energy. I didn't mind Jason Momoa's performance. I thought it was fun. and I kind of liked it. I also thought though overall he was more corny than actually cool. I thought he was like what a 9-year-old would think would be cool. And I don't mean in the way his design or the way anything he does, but more in his dialogue. His dialogue is cringe as fuck. Lobo shouldn't talk as much. Let him just be cool and ride his motorcycle. Don't make him Ghost Rider, but just let him be cool. I don't know. And I do think Lobo was like supposed to be like, I think they're trying to make a Lobo movie, or like a Lobo something.
Not anymore. It's not going to happen anymore. I promise you.
I can see that. Yeah. What did you think of Lobo?
No. I didn't like him. I thought he was. Listen, it kind of felt like a cosplay. Yeah. Like something felt off about him.
I agree.
I don't know if it was the line readings or the script Jason Momoa was given, or his lack of presence in the film. Like he doesn't do anything. He's just there. Like I don't know. He felt so shoehorned in. And I hate when they do that. So, yeah. I mean, I was excited to see Lobo. I think his best moments were shown in the trailer, unfortunately.
Yeah, pretty much. Honestly, pretty much. And he kind of just, like, whenever he does do something, which is, like, essentially killing people, it's the same thing. He has, like, it's not really interesting.
Yeah.
And one more thing I want to mention.
Yeah.
I fucking hated Ruthie. I wanted her to get her revenge, but she was the most annoying character. She always had one job and she never could do it right. Whether it be getting Kara water or just staying in one fucking place, she could just not fucking do it. And it made no sense for Kara to.
She was just annoying.
Yeah, just annoying too. Like she wasn't like funny or like quirky or anything like that. She didn't have to be necessarily, but she was just annoying, like a stick in the mud, constantly. And I didn't like how Kara, like, just, I mean, obviously they were building up to, like, them being, like, a pair, and, like, she's gonna, like, end up traveling with her across the universe or whatever, but, like, obviously that's what they were building up to, but it made no sense, because she was a shit partner. She did nothing right all the time. And, yeah, that's pretty much my thought. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Do you?
I would say disappointing. I wouldn't say I necessarily. I did expect a better movie, like before I heard the reviews, and then like after I was like, okay, it's gonna be mad. And so I think I also came in with that understanding. Like I really didn't have high expectations at all, and I hadn't read the book either.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that helped my enjoyment. If you're kind of going in as you just kind of want like a basic like space adventure, I think it fulfills that. You know, I do wish characters were focused on more, but whatever, I guess. I don't know. I even when I'm trying to like say something like neutral about this film, you can tell that I'm not. That it didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to, obviously, but it's not bad. It's not horrible. I do think it is also just the victim, and you might eye roll me when I say this, but I do think it is the victim of just like a superhero movie led by a woman being like more hated on. You know, I think if this came out and if it was just like any other
The thing is, I don't think so. I would have been equally as fucking negative to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania if we were reviewing that. Like, it's just
very true.
I would have been equally as negative to Morbius, equally as negative to The Flash. It's just on that level of movie, unfortunately. And like I said, I really wanted to like it.
But I think if this movie would just like maybe not necessarily if it had a male lead, it'd be better received. But I don't think it'd be as like trashed. Like I just think it'd be like, oh, it's like whatever. It's like okay.
Maybe by certain people, but I don't think that had anything.
Sure, no, I could agree. I could agree it not affecting your review. I just think that's like a general like internet thing, and just like something that makes it worse. I also think this movie had just like high expectations to follow after Superman. You know, Superman was great. It had a high one to build. It had a high, big shoes to fill, and it couldn't do that. And there was no world where it was going to do that, but it really couldn't do that. So yeah, and not just that, it's supposed to set up the whole world and whatever, but it couldn't do that either. So yeah. But if you just go in thinking it's okay, it's gonna be whatever, it's a space adventure and that's it, I don't think you're gonna get out with a bad time. Me personally, I wasn't bored.
All right, well,
that's my review.
I think you will, but there we go. That's it for episode 44 of Popcorn Problems. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you made it this far, you're the real MVP. We'll be back next week reviewing Minions and Monsters. In the meantime, hit us up on socials at Popcorn Problems Pod and let us know what you thought of Supergirl. Don't forget to follow, rate us 5 stars on whatever platform you're using, and DM us your hottest takes and suggestions. We will see you next time.
Have a good
Peace.
one.